And while I'm on my streak of talking about horror, I do want to discuss lost media because I feel like lost media is one of the many aspects of horror that is real. Like, it feels very real. It can be fake, but at the same time, it's so real because in the real world, there is a lot of lost media in the form of books, plays, poetry, TV shows, movies, simple videos that are existing on the internet, simple videos that were taped on somebody's personal camera. The idea that there are things out there that were recorded at one point that now there is no trace of is scary, because what were those things? Sure, we may have word of mouth of it, but the fact that we can actually physically see those things and we have no way to prove it is scary. Because I love the whole genre too that came about as a result of like lost media from TV shows and movies and stuff like that, because it was cool. Because like, what do you mean that there's some Backyardigans episode out there that was lost media for a long time but only recently got rediscovered? What do you mean that there is like a lost piece of media out there of Mickey and Minnie Mouse doing some not so child-friendly things out there that resulted in an animator getting fired? That may or may not exist because Walt Disney had them fired and had the tape completely burned and erased. What do you mean that there are certain episodes of certain TV shows that have been banned and are now locked up in a vault forever that only certain people have access to, and that certain amount of people is very, very minuscule? Same thing goes for record keeping, because lost media is not only fictional, but we also have to think about real life too. How many recounts and diaries and records of civilizations that we don't know about were made and then destroyed? How many books that were written by people during a time period in which things were very troublesome were burned and destroyed? How many personal diaries of people who went through absolute hell because of the many travesties that have happened in our world, how many of their diaries were burned and destroyed? How many of them were lost to time, lost to the elements? How many people, matter of fact, if not lost or destroyed, how many of those records and diaries actually still exist today but are kept by the family and nobody knows their existence? Like, the concept of lost media is so crazy because even if it's fake, there's still a possibility of it being real. And that in itself is scary. Now that I'm thinking about it, I realize this subgenre actually kind of segues into one of my favorite subgenres, and one of my favorite genres of horror, period. And that's psychological horror. We'll talk about that next video.